Good morning, everyone. It's 11 a.m. and that is our scheduled start time. I think we'll maybe give us another 2 or 3 minutes to make sure that everyone who wants to can log on, and we won't be disturbed by a bunch of dings that go on when the bells ring when you enter. So we'll give it just a couple more minutes. A reminder that I will place everybody on mute. If you have questions, we'll talk with Maureen about how she would like to handle that. But typically, we ask you to type your question into the chat box, which you can reach down at you look down at the bottom of your screen. There should be an icon that says chat. And if you click on that, you can enter a question. So if you find that you've been muted, it's not that we're picking on you. This makes it a lot easier for everybody to hear. Okay, during the last minute of the delay, I'll do a couple of commercials. First of all, I'm Chris Gaffney, work for Parkinson's Support and Wellness, and I'll welcome you to our July 2024 educational webinar that we call PD EDU. We'll get started in just another minute or so. We had nearly 80 people sign up for this event. We've got about 20 of you on board already, so we'll give it another minute or so. During that minute, I will remind you of a couple of events. There is another educational event coming up on August 10th. It's the UC Health Sunflower Symposium. And I will be putting a link in the chat for you if you are interested in registering for the Sunflower Symposium, August 10th at the Oasis Country Club in Loveland, Ohio. It is one of the two premier educational events that we have in our area every year. And then the other event that I will tell you about, if you look on your screen and you see my name, but you don't see my face, it's because I've got up a little ad for our big event that happens Saturday, October 5th in Mason, Ohio at Corwin Nixon Park. It's our Steady Strides 5K walk and run. And I will also put a link in the chat for you if you're interested in registering yourself or to start a team for Steady Strides 2024. We seem to have hit a bit of a lull, so Maureen, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you. She who rarely needs an introduction to most of the folks that join us on these events, but if you don't know Maureen, she is a nurse practitioner that's been working in movement disorders for more than 17 years. She has more than 30 years of nursing experience in the fields of neurology and neurosurgery. She works for UC Health and the Gardner Center. She is also a member of the Parkinson's Support and Wellness Board of Directors and serves as both secretary of the board and as the medical liaison for our organization. We go to her for all things medical when it comes to Parkinson's and advice on what we're doing. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Maureen. Good morning, Maureen.
Good morning, Chris. Thank you for the kind introduction. I know you got that from the website, which tells me that I need to update my data. So I'm in the process of sharing my screen. Can you all see it?
We can.
Okay. All right. Good. So this morning I want to talk about flying solo with Parkinson's disease or living alone with Parkinson's. It's a challenge for any of us to live alone and manage a chronic disease. So just thought I could help with some guidelines on that. First of all, okay, I got a problem with my screen. Okay. Chronic, so first of all, nobody's going to fix this but yourself, right? We are our own solution to any life problems. So chronic illness requires two things. It requires a team with the person at the center, and then it requires other involved participants, especially the active involved patient. And so this is a model of wellness. The person is the center and the team is all around it. And it can be described in various terms, such as empowerment, informed choice, patient-centered, but the concept's the same. The patient or the person with the disease is at the center and is actively involved in his or her own health care. So how do we build a team? Well, you hopefully have family, but many people don't have family in the area. So you have to rely on friends or significant others. You want to find a healthcare POA, power of attorney, or a durable healthcare power of attorney. You want to find the right doctor, especially in people with Parkinson's disease. You want to have a movement disorder specialist, a physical therapist, occupational therapist, speech, maybe a personal trainer, a social worker to help with community resources, and maybe a counselor or a therapist or a spiritual director that can help you sort through feelings and be able to talk to somebody. So before you can take this active role with you in your center, you want to learn what you're dealing with, and hopefully we help you through our PD-EDU sessions. So the illness is serious. It's a degenerative condition. The condition, however, is essentially self-managed. I tell my people all the time, you've got two things that you can do, and everything else in Parkinson's disease really is a crapshoot. So the first thing that you can do is embrace exercise, and the second thing is to take your medicine on time. Those two things are not optional, honestly, but other things are optional, and you can change your behavior. Maybe you're somebody who hates to exercise, but you know what? If this is how you're going to prevent disease progression, then that's what you want to do. In order to embrace that exercise, you may need to, set some goals for yourself and treat yourself when you meet those goals. But eventually, embracing exercise becomes part of your lifestyle. So how do we stay connected with people? Well, there's lots of ways with social media and internet now, but you want to find a way that works best for you. Maybe texting isn't the best because you have tremor, so you may want to use voice text instead. A support group meeting might help you stay connected. If you are involved in a church or something in your community, you can volunteer for activities there. If you get out and about, you meet people, and those people become your connections or maybe close friends. I myself organize a regular outing every couple months with friends that I don't see very often so that I still stay together. And also you can meet others with similar experiences through online forums or things like this, educational events. Maintaining mental health is really important. You want to find ways to cope with your thoughts and feelings. You want to talk to somebody you trust. Remember, feelings are just feelings. They're not good or bad. You just got to get it out there. And someone that you trust can help you validate your feelings and help you figure out why you're feeling that way or how it's affecting you. We know depression is a non-motor symptom of Parkinson's disease. So open up to somebody. You're not alone. If the feelings of sadness and hopelessness persist, then it's going to contribute to you feeling isolated. And I tell my patients all the time, depression is a non-motor symptom. I treat it as aggressively as I treat tremor. So medication is easily prescribed. Sometimes the first antidepressant is not the right one. You have to be patient, and it takes a while for those to take effect. But along with that, these aren't happy pills, okay? They just take the edge off so that you can maintain a normal life. And all of us in times of stress or degenerative diseases or grief or any situational anxieties, our neurotransmitters get screwed up because there's a stressor out there on us. So it's more than important to understand that medications are helpful during this time. And you shouldn't judge yourself that, oh my God, I need another medicine, I need an antidepressant. No, it's for your mental health, which is just as important as your physical health. Okay, studies show that having a pet can improve your quality of life. It can motivate you to keep active and get out and about. There are organizations out there that will help you foster a pet, especially if you're older. They will, place a pet in your care, but if the pet gets sick or you can't care for it, they will take that pet back and care for it through the illness. My aunt did this out in Santa Fe, and she loved animals, but she knew she just couldn't care for them when they got sick. So there was an organization out there that did that. And since I bring up pets, I have to show you my latest dog. Her name is Polly Rose, and that was her birthday crown. She's a cutie. All right, so let's talk about just daily living. If you find daily activities difficult, well, what kind of support can you need? What do I mean by daily activities? So getting up, getting dressed, taking a shower, fixing your meals. If those are becoming more difficult, then you need to talk to your doctor about that so that we can make some interventions. We can send therapists in the home to help you with certain tasks. It might be that you need some adaptations to your home, such as motion sensors that turn on lights or support rails in key places like the bathroom, the bedroom, places that you need help with to get up from a chair, from the commode, things like that. You want to consider some safety concerns. So what happens if you fall and you have, hopefully you have your phone with you or you have a fall alert and you call 911. Is there a place where you have a list of your medicines, as well as any medicines that you shouldn't be taking, such as Phenergan or Haldol, things that we've talked about a lot. You might want to wear a medical ID bracelet or carry a card that identifies that you have Parkinson's disease. There's such a thing as a Vial of Life program, and that's where you fill out a form with vital medical and emergency information, and you place it in a magnetic holder that attaches to the refrigerator or stores it inside of the refrigerator. And there's the website for that. And as always, these presentations will be up on our Parkinson's Support and Wellness website. You want to keep your phone with you, as well as a list of emergency numbers that are readily available. Now, that can be right on your phone if you know how to use the message sections. Or again, you might make a list and have that list in key places in your house, like by your chair, in the kitchen, in the bathroom. You want to keep others informed of your daily schedule. So maybe somebody calls you once a day, and if you're not available, that's kind of a warning that that person should come and check up on you. And you might want to consider a home safety assessment. That's typically with occupational therapy. And they will suggest things such as to eliminate clutter that's on a path to your bathroom, to your chair, to your kitchen. Get rid of throw rugs because they're a fall risk. So that assessment can be helpful as well. Dressing aids. There's such a thing as a stick with handles, a reacher that can be helpful. There's something that can be used to help you button, but maybe snaps would be better, or pullover shirts or pants with elastic waistbands. If you have trouble getting up from the bed or the chair, a physical therapist can help you with that. Taking care of finances is also important. If you're not able to do things on the computer, you might want to buy a signature stamp for checks. Those are possible out there. Or consider asking a trusted person to help you with finances. I think the most important thing is that you have to reach out to others. You can't do it all alone. You do what you can, but none of us lives in isolation. We are social people. So you want to maintain socialization and reach out to others. So how do we ask for help? Well, if we have enough money, we don't have to ask for help, right? We just pay for it. But most of us don't have the luxury of unending funds. So we have to ask for help. So there's two parts to this. You have to ask and you have to receive the help. So even when the asking is something simple, it's hard to acknowledge that you can't do that. I have a sister who has she's had 2 knee replacements and still isn't doing well. And she was a nurse, and she hates to ask for help, and she hates it when I offer to help her get up. And I just have to say, it's really just easier. Just take my hands and let's get up. So help is an active word as well as a receiving thing. So when a person helps you, you're helping them too. So I like it when she allows me to help her, right? It gives me a sense of, oh, I don't know. See, I have word finding difficulties too. It's a sense of compassion. It's a good feeling for me to be able to help people. So finding that balance between independence and dependence is difficult. But most often you'll find that when you ask for help, people are more than happy to help you, and people always say, let me know what I can do. Let me know what I can do. Well, find something that they can help you with. They're very serious about that. But if you don't give them something concrete, it's difficult to help. And you can find a way to give back to someone. You can volunteer yourself. Maybe it's just a phone call, maybe it's a phone call once a week to a relative or a shut-in that doesn't get out. Those are things that you can do. You always want to be grateful, and you might want to befriend a handyman. I had new neighbors move down the street, and when I was walking the dog and met them, he happened to mention all these things he was doing in his house. And I'm like, hey, would you be my handyman? I can always use one. And so he is. It's great. But if I wouldn't have asked, I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have him as my handyman. So planning and organizing. Sometimes a day starts the night before. My day always starts the night before. I think about what time I got to get up, what I'm wearing, what am I packing for lunch, what am I grabbing out the door, what do I need for clinic that day? Same thing happens for you. You have to choose what you'll wear. if you have a morning appointment, how much time you need to shower, dress, button a shirt or blouse, when you need to leave home. Sometimes those plans don't always work, right? And so if you get a surprise off time, what can you do? Are you going to sit and rude about the off time, or can you think of something else to do? Can you read for a while? Can you meditate? Can you do some deep breathing? Can you center yourself? Do some mindfulness? Maybe that surprise off will resolve itself. You also need to change priorities and do your important things first. As we talked earlier before the session, the weeds in the garden are still going to grow. But is that the important thing? Or is getting the laundry done the more important thing when you're on and when you're able to move? So what about shopping, meal preparation? Keep some dinners in the freezer for the nights you're too tired to cook. Some of the newer home delivered meals have all the ingredients, ready to cook, the spices and everything. And those meals can average anywhere from $8 to $10 for a single person. Consider shopping the grocery items online, Kroger Click It program. And don't forget to add PSW to your Kroger card so we get the points and money. Just a little side. If you do the Click It program, you can pull up to the parking place and the groceries are brought out to you. Or you can have them delivered now. So there are a lot of easier ways to maintain shopping and meal preparation in this day and age. How do you stay safe? Well, you want to prevent falls. So no throw rugs anywhere. You want to arrange your furniture so it's easier to move around the house. You don't want to have a chair in your way or a table in your way, especially if you have a walker. You want to use non-slip mats in the bath or shower. A big thing, you want to avoid scams or nuisance phone calls. Learn how to block a phone call so that you're not bothered as much by them. Loose wires are another issue. There are lots of little zip ties that you can get that you can combine your wires to make them less of a fall risk. And you might want to consider a life alert or a life lock, whatever you want to call them, a medical alert, a fall alert, in case of an emergency or a fall. You want to be safe. So if people come to your door, don't open your door right away. If you have two doors, that's best. You can open the one door and then have them show you the identity card through the window. You don't have to let anybody in your home or let anybody harass you at the doorstep. You can close the door and call 911. So in summary, be confident that you have the right doctor. You want to define your circle of support or create your circle of support. You want to protect your health as you would protect your child, right? Or your animal if you have one. Create a new measuring stick for success. Let's not make it so steep that it never happens. And you still want to have dreams and strive for them, or have goals that you want to achieve. Maybe it's travel. Maybe you have to do some extra work on, do I need a motorized cart if I want to travel? Can I arrange for wheelchair support at the airport for the airplane? So there is a lot of work that we have to do on our own when we live by ourselves, but that doesn't mean that we can't get out there and have a fulfilling life. And that's the end of my story.
Okay.
Any questions? So there's
So if you have any questions at this point, just go ahead and unmute your mic and you can ask your question.
There's a comment, and this is really true. My son is a dog trainer, and he does caution people to find a pet that matches their activity level. So don't get a large dog needing a lot of running or walking if you're unable to keep up. It is a balance, and I agree with that. Even when I got my new dog, there were a couple others that I was looking at, and they told me that they were more high energy. And I said, well, at 70, I don't need a high energy dog, right?
Right.
So I got my Holly Rose, and I call her my Velcro dog because she is on me 24/7. She is on my neck in bed. She is on my lap. Right now she is sleeping, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And cats are less active than dogs. You know, you don't have to take a cat out. So if you're a cat person, that's a great pet for you. You just have to change the litter box.
Maureen, one of the things that helped us a lot is a case manager. And it's not cheap, you know, it's a financial issue, but it certainly is a big help if it's affordable. And I don't know if you have access to people who might be a little less expensive, but we've, for us, it's been about 2 years, I think, since we've gotten ours. And she's a nurse practitioner like you. And she's been a world of help.
Yeah, I was hoping you would bring that up. And so I personally don't have access to case managers, but we have 2 social workers at Gartner Neuroscience Institute that are very helpful and knowledgeable about all the resources that are available out there. So if you are one of our patients at GNI, then please, when you see the provider or make a phone call, to ask to speak to a social worker. There, actually, we also have a social worker through the Parkinson's Support and Wellness that will field questions and help with things. There's a question in the chat. How do you find a doctor that specializes in diagnosing Parkinson's and managing it? So I can tell you that we have 6 providers at the Gartner Neuroscience Institute. There is a new provider through TriHealth, if that's your insurance. She was our fellow and graduated in July, Dr. Iris Lynn. So she's going to be practicing at TriHealth, and she's a movement disorder specialist. We also have in the community at River Hills, a Dr. David Schmerler, Dr. Brian Maddox, but Brian is phasing out and retiring, and Dr. Chris Wood. So if you do a Google search, movement disorder specialist in Cincinnati, I'm sure that these names would come up.
And I would add that if you're not in the Cincinnati area, Dayton has movement disorder specialists both at Kettering Health and at Premier. So that's 2 places to start. Another spot where you can go to check is your insurance provider. Your insurance provider should be able to tell you where a movement disorder specialist near you is that's on their rolls, if you will.
One other
Maureen,
thing.
Go ahead, Carol.
What we've found, the social workers, as you mentioned, can be a big help. And where we've found they've been a big help for us is dealing with Social Security and insurance companies as far as availability for being, not being able to work, filling out all the paperwork. If anybody's dealt with this, it's a major issue of getting all that paperwork dealt with. And Becca, the social worker at UCG and I, has been amazing. So there's a lot of things that social worker can do, and that's one that we weren't aware of for a long time, but boy, it sure does help.
The next question in the chat is, any comments on the use of cannabinoids? No, I have no comment.
What's the question?
Yeah. So here's my comment. As a provider, there is not enough research out there to say yay or nay on it. And even in the movement disorder specialist field, people are pro and con. My take is, if you want to try it and it's helpful, fine, it's helpful. If it's not helpful, you haven't hurt yourself. You're not going to hurt yourself with a trial of one gummy or whatever that you think you want to use. But I just have to caution that by saying there's no good research to support it. There's a person, Denise R., who says, I am launching a private professional nurses advocate business. As a nurse, I'm not affiliated with UC or any organization. In the future, I will see if PT Support and Wellness can list my business. I'd be happy to meet with you, Denise, and talk about that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Much like the case manager she mentioned earlier, yeah. Any comments from single people out there, if it's difficult to create your team? Guess not.
Well,
I'm
it
single,
is.
but I have a lot of family, so I don't, but I can't count on family to be my, total socialization. So even for today, I wanted to go somewhere and I reached out to 3 different people and nobody wanted to do it with me. So I'm going to go by myself. It's okay. But you do have to reach out and help.
One other thing, I don't want to hog this.
No, you've got a lot of experience, Carol.
But one of the things that's helped a lot too, and I think Tom is on here, is having to give up driving and the effect that has. And he's learned to use Uber and GoGo Grandparent a lot, and I mean multiple times a week, and it's made a huge difference. It's not like driving yourself, but it does allow you to get around to an awful lot of places. Especially, and GoGo Grandparent has the advantage of not requiring using a cell phone to do it. You can actually talk to somebody. But just a plug for that. It's it costs money, but it's sort of driving a car.
Well, right. And sometimes I wish there was a study out there that said, the cost of using that kind of transportation versus the cost of car maintenance, gas, insurance, that all adds up as well.
Yeah, it does.
And as we get older, the insurance gets more expensive. So,
yeah.
But there's nothing like getting in your own car and going where you want to go when you want to do it. So it does offer, there is that independence with it.
Yeah.
But again, as we adapt, as we age, then you have to accept those limitations, right? Aging is about learning to accept your limitations. and finding other ways to get things done.
Yeah. Got to be creative.
My aunt always said, find younger friends.
Yeah.
She was
That's-
97 when she died.
Yeah. That's good advice.
And her other mantra to me was, when you can't do something, then you find something else to do.
Yeah.
You know, replace it with something.
Smart lady.
She was.
Maureen, you mentioned during your presentation the idea of getting involved in a support group. And one of the things that I wanted to point out and under your comment there of find different ways, that if you are not able to get out and drive and go to an in-person support group meeting, Parkinson's Support and Wellness provides a couple of virtual support groups, just like what's happening here. We use Zoom as the platform for that. We're not the only ones that do virtual support. You can find other virtual support groups by looking on our website at parkinsoncincinnati.org. Look under support groups, and you'll find the category that says online or virtual support groups. So that's an alternative that you may have there. Same thing with exercise, by the way. There are exercise programs that are virtual, that are provided by some of the providers that we know in our area that have gyms or locations where you can go and work out, but they also do virtual sessions. So don't let the fact that maybe you can't get out of the house this week keep you from finding other avenues.
And along with the exercise, if you go to YouTube and search PD exercise videos, there's thousands out there. So again, these things take time, right? And sometimes I get overwhelmed with the options, you know, and I don't want to take a set period of time to figure this out. But that's what I have to do. It's not going to happen on its own. Nobody's going to do this for me. So maybe in your schedule someday, block an hour. Okay, I'm going to go to YouTube. I'm going to search PD exercises. And then I'm going to go through 10 or 20 of those options and see if there's one there for me. I was looking at a short video online the other day about cleaning out your email from spam. And that's what it said to do. You know, you can't just click unsubscribe because it doesn't always do it. You have to go to the website. So you have to figure out a block of time to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you're just cruising your email or, you know, cruising online, you don't want to take the time right there to dedicate it. So put it in your schedule. On Saturday morning from 10 to 11, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
And scheduling your day helps as well, right? So that you kind of have a goal for each day. There's something you're going to accomplish. And that's one of the things I like to think about the night before, especially on my weekends. Well, what really needs to get done this weekend? I can see the weeds grow. They're going to keep growing. But I need to power wash my house, or I need to wash windows, or, you know, and I break it up into smaller projects because I can't do the whole thing anymore in one day. I'm getting old too.
Wow, you just read
Denise?
the list I got from Vicki this morning.
Yeah, I don't have that honey-do list because I'm the honey.
Well, then you got to do.
Denise has a comment here. I've been places when dystonia hit and I was unable to walk. I've learned to stand in place and look like I mean to do so. That's a good trick for freezing of gait as well. You know, you can't take a step, so you stop, take some deep breaths, relax, and then maybe you can take a step. These are, is anybody out there that's on live by themselves and have any comment for this?
One thing I was gonna type in the message box said, one thing I've had problems with is like I have a lot of lights that are higher up that I have to either get on a ladder to reach or climb up on the counter to reach, and I'm not willing to do that anymore because I'm not stable enough to do it. But there are websites and apps for your phone that like TestGrab it that you can find handyman that will do it for a reasonable price. And so things like changing light bulbs, changing the batteries in smoke detectors, things like that. That you normally wouldn't bother. You normally do yourself, but if you can't, if you're not stable on a ladder or step stool or something like that, then you can find somebody else to do it and not have to pay an arm and a leg probably. So there's things like that available too to be aware of.
And those are things that your friends are willing to do for you. Tom, the next time you need that, you call me. You live close by. I'm happy to come and change a light bulb for you. No, but that's really true. You know, those are when people say, call me, I want to, I want to help. Those are the little things that are really easy for them to do. Oops. You're going to hear some barking. My postman was just here. Yeah. And it is those little things that are annoying, right? They're annoying to me when I can't figure out how to fix something simple.
Mm-hmm.
Shelley, did you have to share?
I was just going to say, as well as hiring people who do things what they would consider to be for a living, I have quite a few grandchildren who are older. My last two are third year in college this year coming up out of 7. So we had 7 grandkids in 5 years' time. And those kids are always looking for extra money. And a lot of times it's easy for them to just jump in the car and come on over for a little bit. So if you have contact with them, either by text message or with their parents, that can also be a resource that other people may not have considered before. And it actually doesn't even have to be grandkids. It can be neighbor kids of that age who are looking to help out or make some extra bucks. And that could be helpful to you as well.
Good idea. Yeah, all of my nieces and nephews have their own kids, and those kids are having kids, so life gets busy for them, but it's true. When they're in that key age group, like, I don't know, maybe 10 to 16, they want to do something. The 10-year-olds can't drive, of course, but they can be very helpful.
Yeah, right now I've got a 14-year-old and his 10-year-old brother, the Mo Bros, they call themselves, that are doing my yard work. And, something that I've always done for myself, have a situation right now where I can't. And so, 2 young kids, I actually get a kick out of seeing young kids come and have their own business and bring their equipment. They stick a little sign in my yard that says the Mo Bros with their phone number. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
And they do a really good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found a younger kid to help me with yard work in the spring and fall. Much, much, much easier. I can't lift those bags of mulch anymore.
Right.
Yeah, they're heavy.
But again, we have to be careful about who we let in the house.
I typically don't spread mulch in my house, so
Well, if there's no other questions,
a great session, Maureen. Thank
good
you.
discussion.
A reminder, Maureen mentioned it earlier, we do record these webinars, our PD EDUs. It'll take us a few days to get in and edit out my snide comments. and the earlier stuff as we were getting started. But if you give us a few days, we will archive under the Learning tab at parkinsoncincinnati.org. So you can go on there. You can see this one if you want to replay, or you can look through our archive. I think we have now nearly 4 years of PD/EDU's archived. So a lot of subjects to take a look at. Again, I'll remind everybody, if you are able to get out and want to be a part of the Parkinson's community, the next couple of months gives you a couple of good opportunities. Don't forget the Sunflower Symposium on August 10th at the Oasis Country Club. I did put a link to their website in the chat. And I also put a link to our Steady Strides website so that you can get information and join us either on that day, or we also give you a way to virtually participate. So I'll thank everybody for your time and attention this morning. Maureen just walked away. Carol, help me if I recall correctly. I don't believe we will have an August or September PD/EDU. Am I correct, Maureen?
Yes.
So our next one will be in October. And I'm looking forward to the November one because I'm going to be the presenter, and we're going to talk about technology and how personal technology and how we can use it to make our lives easier. So
the date in October is the 19th.
Great. Okay, that gives you 2 weeks to recover from Steady Strides.
The topic in October is going to be from a home care agency and what kind of resources are available through them. Sorry, I had to mute myself for a while. My dog was barking.
That's okay. Well, with that, we once again will thank everybody. Thank you, Maureen. Thanks everyone for joining us on this lovely Saturday morning. The weeds await. So we'll let you go and have a great day, a great weekend. Look forward to seeing and interacting with you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye now.
everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.